What's going on, everybody? Another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures, and as you can probably see, the big 62 looks a little bit different. I have decided to put some bush barriers on the big girl. Now, this video is pretty much going to take you through the reasons why I did this, what they do, and how they can sort of benefit you in your tracks and trails and when you go on your ventures. So let's get into it. All right, bush barriers. What are they? What do they do? Why should you even get them on your car? Hopefully I can sort of answer all those questions in this video. But essentially, a bush barrier, pretty simple. It's in the name. It is a barrier against the bush. So as you can see right there, it is a magnet. So the magnet sticks onto the car. They're molded into the shape of the vehicle, and they go all down the side of the car. Now, they don't go up the pillars or in the roof line, but they do sort of cut off on the back. In the back, they'll show you anyway. They sort of cut off on the back. Now, why should you get these? Well, for me, as a YouTuber and that kind of stuff, I like the branding. The branding's a good idea. I just really wanted something that was going to protect the car. Now, if you know, back in my old videos, I had the bush wrap. That worked really well. There was no dramas with it. I installed it probably not as good as I should have, and the problem I had is, and it's no fault of the products, it's purely my stuff up, but the lips started getting frayed, and yeah, dirt started getting under there. They started to look a little bit tacky, and they looked a bit, how you going? As I said, this is nothing against their products, it's how I installed it. I didn't do the heat on the edge, which a bit of a mistake on my part, but that sort of, you know, started causing the problems and all the rest of it. So if you do it properly, they're a fantastic product. It still lasted me about 1.5 years before I bought these anyway. But yeah, they started looking a bit how you going. So that's why I took the bush barriers off, and I ended up going with, the bush wraps, and that's why I went with the bush barrier. Now, it's fantastic when I'm going out and about. Obviously, the car is quite recognisable anyway, but now it's got all these sort of signage and that kind of stuff. But when I am driving the car around day to day and around town and that kind of stuff, I don't want all this signage on here. I mean, as I said, the car is pretty recognisable, but I don't want it sort of masquerading, you know, showing off to everybody, if you know what I mean. So that's where this is sort of a little bit better than a generic wrap, because a wrap is on there 24/7. So if you go to the shops, you got people looking at your car and that kind of stuff. People might even trail you home and that kind of thing. So you've got to think about a bit of a security thing, because they are, you know, YouTubers' cars, I suppose, become quite well known. So you do want a little bit of privacy and that kind of stuff as well. So this is purely for the tracks. I take them off when I get home, give them a clean. Like, obviously they're going to need a clean now because I've been farting around out here in the mud. But give them a clean, and then I just lay them all flat on some carpet, and they sit there to my next adventure. So they stay all nice and neat, you know, like a neat condition. Now, why would you buy this? You bought a new 300, you bought a new 200, you bought a new car. Your first trip, what happens? You go down a track, branches, bushes are all scraping down the side of your car. You get home and you look at it and go, she's not a new car anymore. But inside you're a little bit, oh man, I love the trip, but that sucks. This can alleviate that to an extent. So generally, most cars, they're going to get hit from the side with bushes and branches. When you're going down a track, there's not really too much that hit your bonnet and that kind of thing. So you want all the protection down the side of your car. Now, bonnet's great as well if you want to stop rocks, but I'd probably put like a PPE or a PPF on the bonnet, just to protect from rocks and that kind of stuff. But if you want to protect your sides, this is a fantastic investment. These are about, a non-custom made one, I think, are about 900 bucks. A custom made one's about 1,500. But again, that $1,500 investment, yes, it's a lot of money, but a scratch from one side of the car down to the other, and let's say it's gone down to the bare metal, it's going to cost you more than $1,500 to paint the whole side of the car, because you will have to paint every single panel. So they can definitely be a beneficial if you're going to be going out doing the bush in a brand new car like I did. I mean, this had 200 Ks on the clock and I took it down to the beach. So I didn't buy this car to sit in the garage and not do anything. I wanted to go out in the bush. I didn't want to be like restricted, but at the same time as well, you know, I didn't want to be sitting there painting in 2 years' time to, you know, get all the scratches out and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's probably due for a really good buff now, but at least with this, I can sort of prolong that a little bit more by not getting more and more scratches down the side. There's nothing worse than that noise going down the start. Especially if it's a dark car. If it's a black car, I would get these. They actually do a matte black version. Actually, Tomo had that on his car, and it looks very, very neat. So it blends in really well on a black car. It blends in really well, and he had nothing but good things to say about him. Just because a black car is just going to show scratches so much worse than a white car or a grey car or a silver car. Silver cars aren't too bad, they can sort of be buffed out, but a black car, as soon as you scratch them, you see them from a mile away. So essentially they're the three reasons that I went with this product. The branding I think looks fantastic. I think the car looks even better now than it did before. You know, you put them on and I go, yeah, come on, this is looking pretty good. But yeah, I mean, the fantastic thing about it is I can take them off when I'm not using the car, you know, for full driving, that kind of stuff. Drive around town and not get, you know, not so much recognised, but you know, you just got that sort of that privacy little aspect about it as well, which is good. And as I said, they take about 10 minutes to put on. So before you go on a trip, chuck them on, go out, do your trip. Come back, wash the car, take them off, happy days. Now I'll give you a few little examples of what you probably need to do with this product when you get it. You get a little bit of a leaflet, but the product shouldn't go onto a dirty car. That's a no-no. You're going to have sand and dirt underneath this. It doesn't really move around too much, but you just don't want that dirt embedding into the paint and really sort of crushing into the paint and then making more scratches. So make sure it's on a clean car. 9 times out of 10, after you clean your car when you've done a trip, you clean this and, you know, put them on the next time when you go full driving again. 9 times out of 10, your car's pretty clean when you put them on anyway. So I haven't cleaned the car in a week, but it had a bit of dust in there. I just gave it a bit of a wipe over. Happy days, we're here now with no real issues. So make sure the car's clean. They do say you shouldn't drive on the highway with these, but I have driven 110, maybe a bit faster, maybe not. But I have driven at 110 with these on and had no dramas. These are a full magnet. So like you look at the whole thing, all it is a huge magnet. So there's not much chance of it coming off. Now, I'm not going to say it won't come off, but the chances are pretty low. So as I said, you can drive on the highway. I have done it. This isn't coming from Bushbarrier himself. They obviously say don't do it, but probably the gripe I have is putting them on before you go on the track. 9 times out of 10, you hit the gravel road, then you stop, then you air down, then you put these on. You're going to have all dust and stuff underneath your car. So I just figured, put them on before you go. Your car's in generally the cleanest position you're going to be in, and then yeah, clean it when you get home and that kind of stuff. So obviously when I get home today, I'll give these a big wipe down, give the car a bit of a clean because it's due for it anyway, and then they'll be ready for the next trip. So to put it in perspective, there's a panel here, a panel here. This is another panel. There is a separate panel that goes here. This is 2 panels, and then on the other side there is a 3rd panel for your fuel flap. So obviously utes are going to be different. If it's chop ute or if you've got a tray on the back, obviously you wouldn't put that, so you just put it on the front and the 2 doors. So on a ute and something like that, it probably only takes 5 minutes. This takes me about 10 minutes to put on. So yeah, that's the Bushbarriers in a nutshell. What else can I say about them? They're a huge magnet and they protect your car. You can put branding on them, so if you've got a work vehicle, probably handy if you've got a work vehicle and you want to have some quick signage and that kind of stuff you can put on. Or if you sort of, you know, use it on the weekend, you don't want that signage on there, you can use them for that as well, because you can put whatever you want on there. We went and custom made this design to suit the car. So there's definitely different applications for it, but my application was purely for the bush and going out and protecting the car to an extent. Now, the sort of crux of getting it is when I went to Aruna and I went down this sort of bog hole. I got a bit too close to the left bank, and I ended up pretty much rubbing the bank on the side of the car for 2 doors and the front pillar bit here. So that was I probably should do something about this, because that was in between the bush wraps and this, and I decided to scratch the shit out of my car. So I've got a photo, I'll put that up now, but essentially that was sort of I need to get something to sort this out, because this is a big car and I don't want to be starting smashing up panels and scratching panels and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was sort of my oh shit moment, I suppose. But look, as I said, if you've got any questions about the product, I'm going to obviously test it along the way. It's been on the car for about 3 months now, so I'm pretty happy with it. No real gripes. As I said, it's a very, very simple product, and it does a fantastic job of protecting the car. So if you've got any questions, drop them down below, and I'll answer them, as I usually do. So, been another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one in 2 weeks, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.